What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. Let's get into Forbidden Door from August the 24th, 2025. A very middle of the road show. This show was very mid. Most of this show felt like it could have taken place on Collision or Dynamite. I did not watch the pre-show at all. I didn't. So I don't care about it because most pre-shows, whether it's WWE, TNA, or even AEW for that matter, are really not important. It's just something to hype the crowd up and get them excited, for the main card. So that's really what it's basically used for. But again, most of this show was boring. It was not worth $50. Tony Khan should be ashamed of himself for charging people $50 to, watch this crap. It's actually pathetic. So at this point, it is what it is. But I would think if you have an Amazon Prime account or a Prime Video account, that this should be to watch it should be maybe about $10, if that. I'd even go as far as say maybe like $8. But I mean, that's just me. But whatever. We all don't think the same. All right, let's go ahead and get into this show, shall we? Let's go ahead and get into the show. So, we kicked the show off with the first match of the afternoon. It was Edge and Christian. They defeated Kip Sabian and Killswitch, a.k.a. Luchasaurus. I didn't care about this match. This is probably the first pay-per-view main card show that Kip Sabian's ever been on since he's been in AEW, which is probably 6 years ago since AEW's inception. So this match was okay, I guess. So Edge basically gets Edge hits the spear and Christian Cage, gets the pin for the 1, 2, 3. So it is what it is. I don't give a damn about this. This is a very weak way to start the show off, but it is what it is. So post-match, the crowd, they begin to saying that, hey, Christian, I want to know if you want to be if you'll be my guy. And then both Edge and Christian, they shake hands, and then that was it. So this is fine. Obviously, they're still telling the story about them reuniting. There's still alliances. Alliance of convenience. So my bad. Allies of convenience. There, I said it. Allies of convenience, which is fine to me. Although this should not have been their first match at all. Period. This never should have even happened at all. This didn't need to be on the card. I'm just being honest, just being real. I've been a lifelong fan of both Edge and Christian, but Kip Sabian, there's nothing there. He's total garbage. And Luchasaurus, a.k.a. Killswitch, same thing. Not really much there. But whatever. Who cares about this? Moving on, this leads us into Kyle Fletcher defeating Hiromu Takahashi. He retains the AEW TNT Championship. I don't really care about this shit either. This is something that could have taken place on a Collision or Dynamite. Take your pick. It doesn't matter. And this probably would have served as the opener to a Collision or Dynamite. So basically, Kyle Fletcher retains via the Brainbuster. So whatever. Who cares about this? This was garbage. I just don't care about it at all. I fucking despise the Don Callias family. They are boring to me. I mean, I like the concept of the faction, but they don't need all these members. Like, they have at least maybe 10 people. And we'll talk about them getting a new member, which I am highly upset about that, and we will talk about that when we get there, because that totally flabbergasted me beyond all belief. That really sent me over the edge. I'm not going to hold you guys up. That pissed me off completely. Moving on. This leads us into the Fatal 4-Way for the TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné retains said championship. She defeated Miss Ospreay, a.k.a. Alex Windsor, Bozilla, who had a good showing in the match, and Persephone, who also had a good showing in the match. Bozilla was great. There were some pretty good spots in the match here and there. A bunch of power moves, a couple double team moves. The finish came when Windsor was going to go for a double Scorpion Deathlock. Mercedes broke it up, and then Persephone was about to hit a moneymaker of her own on Mercedes, and then Mercedes just rolls her up full of 1, 2, 3, and Mercedes retains the TBS Championship. I don't care about this. Although Bozilla, she had a really good showing in this match. Really good. So hopefully we will see more of her. She's got a great look. So I do like that. But the match was so-so. But again, this was another match that could have taken place on a Dynamite or a Collision. It doesn't matter which. Just take your pick. Again, this is not worth $50. This is a waste of time. This is a total waste of time. Moving on, a match that I did not give a single fuck about, and that was Zack Saber Jr. defeating Nigel McGuinness. I don't care about this. Zack Saber Jr. retains the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Whatever. Zack wins with some type of crazy pinfall. I don't care about this. This is absolutely pathetic. New Japan is basically on life support beyond belief. And the promotion, in my opinion, has been dead for a while, ever since they lost Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, the Bucks, Hangman, and others to AEW. So New Japan has been dead for a while, and this is further proof of that. But, it is what it is. I don't care about this. This was another match that could have taken place on a Collision or a Dynamite. I'm going to keep saying that. I really am, because when you put matches on pay-per-view, these matches should be important. Every match should feel special. Every match should feel like it's must-see and like it's going to be a big deal. You can't just put out slop, and that's really what we've gotten so far for the past, 4 matches. Moving on, so this leads us into a segment to where they go over the attendance. It was 18,992 fans, so they were close to 19,000. That's cool. That was done by Tony Schiavone, so the O2 was able to get close to 19,000 fans out for Forbidden Door. Yay, that's cool. Then this leads us into Thekla and Queen Amanana. They were just brawling backstage and everything else. I don't care. Then Jamie Hayter, she appeared. She showed up. And she got a massive reaction. This is great. So I'm glad that she's back there. So good. Because she's been gone for about, 3-4 months, I think. I think she got injured at Double or Nothing. She's been gone about a good 3 months. So great to see her back. Moving on. This leads us into the Triple Threat Tag Team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. FTR, the Hurt Syndicate, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, and Brodito, a.k.a. Bandito and Brody King. Brody King and Bandito, they become the new AEW World Tag Team Champions. So this was a typical Triple Threat match, basically. Towards the end of the match, 3 guys appeared. They had on New Japan tracksuits. Obviously, their faces were covered and everything else. They revealed themselves to be Ricochet and the Gates of Agony. So they showed up and they beat up the Hurt Syndicate and everything else. And this allowed for Bandito to get the win. He hit a pin on, I think it was Zack or Cash who took the pin. Who cares? But anyway, they win. Either way, they win. So that's fine there. Makes sense. Do I care about this? No, I just don't. This sucks that Ricochet and the Gates of Agony, they're going to be feuding with the Hurt Syndicate. This is whack. This is whack as fuck. And then again, this is also another match that could have taken place on a Dynamite or a Collision. I'm being honest. I truly am. All right. Moving on. So this leads us into Swerve Strickland versus Kazuchika Okada for the AEW Unified Championship. Okada retains. This match was pretty, decent. Some pretty good stuff here. The rolling flatliner. Swerve hit a couple of, DDTs and power drivers. Okada hit a power driver on the steel steps and stuff like that. So basically, Swerve almost had this one when he hit big pressure, but Okada reversed that and he ended up hitting the Rainmaker for the 1-2-3. He retains. Post-match, Okada continues to attack the knee of Swerve and everything else. Prince Nana comes out to make the save. So Wardlow shows up, who's been gone for like 4 or 5 months. We know he's been doing filming for the Gladiator show that he's going to be a part of later on this year. So he shows up, gets a pretty good reaction. He beats up Prince Nana and security. And then he walks up the ramp and he embraces Don Callias. The two of them, they dap it up. And he's a part of the Don Callias family. He's now the newest member of this shitty faction. This pisses me the fuck off. Why? Because Wardlow is awesome. Wardlow does not need to be in a faction. He's been in a faction basically since day one. It makes no sense. Let this guy break out and be a breakout star. So Takeshita and Wardlow, they had a stare down and stuff. So it seems like they're going to turn Tanosuke Takeshita babyface, which is fine. I'm down with that. So good stuff there. Moving on, this leads us into Toni Storm defeating Athena. She retains the AEW Women's World Championship. I don't care about this match. I don't care about Athena. I just don't give a damn about it. Who really cares? All right. Toni Storm got a really cool little entrance though, so I do like that. But I just don't care about this shit. I really don't. Moving on. So this leads us into the co-main event, which was MJF versus Adam Page, or Hangman Adam Page, for the AEW World Championship. Hangman wins. The match was pretty solid here. MJF did his typical heel stick in this match and everything else. So basically, there was a rep bump in the match and everything. So MJF hit like a low blow. Page kicked out. So, Hangman and MJF, they had a tug of war over the contract, or MJF's contract. Hangman whacked MJF's head with the contract, and then he hit a dead eye into the buckshot lariat for the 1-2-3. This was fun here. I did, like this. Clearly this is not over with at all by a long shot, so why would it be? So I would expect this to continue This is not an over at all by a long shot. So he still has the contract, which is fine. But we all knew that Hangman was going to retain. Bryan Dennison was out for commentary for most of the show. He did an okay job. Main event of the evening, which was the Lights Out Steel Cage. Darby Allin, Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Kota Ibushi. They defeated the Death Riders and the Young Bucks. So Jon Moxley, Gabe Kidd, Claudio Castagnoli, and Matt and Nick Jackson. There were gummy bears in this match and everything else. That was cool. So that was pretty funny there. But this match was super indie. Moxley, he ended up using a fork and digging into the ear of Darby. Darby bled buckets. There are a bunch of table spots, steel chairs, steel steps. There's some of everything in this match. I don't care about this shit. So towards the end of the match, the finish happened when Omega hit the one-wing angel, followed by an off-the-top rope hidden blade, and then Tanahashi hit his frog splash for the 1, 2, 3. The babyfaces win. So everyone celebrates, and then post-match, the Death Riders, they show up. They beat the shit out of Will Ospreay. So clearly, they're writing him off to go get surgery and everything else. So Ospreay's going to be out for a while. So Ospreay eats not 1, not 2, not 3, but I think about maybe 5 or so paradigm shifts. And then Moxley did a curb stomp on the steel chair to add insult. To add more insult to injury. And then the medical team came out. They came out to assist Ospreay and everything else, and that's how we go off the air. So this is fine. This sucks because the whole Death Rider storyline still continues. It should have been over once Moxley lost the world title. I don't know why this shit continues, but at this point, it is what it is. Clearly, this show was boring. It was a waste of time. It really was. So, whatever. There's nothing really to talk about. The co-main event was fine. I did enjoy MJF and Hangman. The main event was just a spot fest, and everything else on the show could have taken place on a Dynamite or a Collision. So, it is what it is. The Forbidden Door concept needs to end. It needs to stop. It's a weak, one-sided partnership, and it just needs to end. New Japan has not recovered since AEW's been in existence. It's time to close the Forbidden Door. But what did you guys think of Forbidden Door? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.